Dear students, this is our second lecture on polymers, and in this lecture we will be discussing about the mechanism of polymerization. Now, the basic of mechanism involved in polymerization can be classified into mainly of two types, that is addition polymerization or condensation polymerization. Addition polymerization is also known as chain growth polymerization, whereas condensation polymerization is known as step growth polymerization. And addition polymerization is further of these three types. This may be a free radical polymerization where we involve a free radical initiator, or it may be an ionic polymerization where the catalyst may be a cation or an anion. And third category is coordination polymerization, which is also known as Ziegler-Natta polymerization. And here the metal salts, they act as catalyst. First is addition polymerization. We call the process of polymerization of following an addition polymerization or chain growth polymerization if the reaction yields a product which is exactly multiple of the original monomer molecule. Say, if I am having one monomer of this type, I add 1000 monomers of this side, the polymer formed will be having molecular weight exactly similar to the 1000 monomers, that these will be equivalent. So the exact multiple of original monomer molecule is formed if the mechanism followed is an addition polymerization. So in this type of polymerization, generally we involve a monomer which contain one or more double bond, and this double bond is then attached to some functional group, which may be an electron withdrawing group or electron releasing group, depending upon the type of catalyst which we use. And the addition polymerization reaction is initiated either by applying heat or in the presence of light, or we can use excessive pressure or some catalyst for breaking this carbon-carbon double bond, to which another monomer can be added to form the polymer. The most common examples of additional polymerization, they are polyethylene, polypropylene, polystyrene, polyvinyl chloride, polyvinyl acetate, and polymethyl methacrylate. So all these polymers, they are formed from addition polymerization. And addition polymerization can be free radical addition, anionic addition, cationic addition, or coordination addition. So first category of addition polymerization is free radical polymerization. So free radical polymerization is that the reaction takes place in three steps. All types of polymerization reactions, they will take place in these three steps. One is initiation, propagation, and termination. In the initiation step, what will happen? The monomer will interact with the free radical which are generated from free radical initiators, and these free radicals, they will add to the monomer molecule. Now the most commonly used free radical initiators, they are organic peroxides or AIBN, that is azo-base isobutyronitride. So what happens is, when these free radical initiators, when they are heated at different temperature depending upon the structure of the free radical initiator, they will give us free radicals. and these free radicals, they will then interact with the monomer molecule to initiate the reaction, that is called as initiation step. So for example, this is tertiary butyl peroxide, and we know this oxygen oxygen bond is a very weak bond. This will break homolytically to give us these types of free radicals, and these free radicals, they will add to the carbon carbon double bond of the monomer to generate another free radical. Similarly, AIBN, we know that the carbon nitrogen bond is a weak bond, and this will lose a molecule of nitrogen gas, and these two free radicals, they will be formed, and these free radicals, they can then be added to the monomer molecule. So for example, if we take the case of formation of polystyrene from styrene, then this will be the mechanism of the reaction. For example, in the initiation step, this is the free radical which has been formed from the free radical initiator, either tertiary butyl peroxide in the previous slide or from AIBN, and most commonly used free radical initiator in polystyrene formation is AIBN. So this free radical will add to this carbon-carbon double bond. Now if you see the structure of the monomer, this phenyl group is an electron withdrawing group. So when this withdraw electron, that means this electron density is attracted towards this aromatic ring. That means this carbon will be electrophilic carbon. So that means this R will get attached, this electron will get attached to the electrophilic carbon, and we will get this type of monomer free radical formed in the initiation step. So formation of monomer free radical is called as initiation step. So monomer free radical from monomer conversion is the initiation step. Then in second step is propagation step. In the propagation step, the monomer free radical which was formed in the initiation step, that will interact with n number of monomer units, and we will get, so at each step this free radical will add to this carbon, and the length of the free radical chain will go on increasing till the n number of monomer units, they are added to the free radical to give us this type of free radical, and this free radical is called as macro free radical. And then this macro free radical which has been formed by consuming the whole of our monomers, then it will undergo termination step, and termination can take place by these methods, that is either by coupling or combination of macro free radical or disproportionation of the macro free radical. So if coupling or combination take place, that means one free radical will combine with another free radical of same size, macro free radicals. Two macro free radicals, they will combine to give us a saturated polystyrene as the product. Whereas if disproportionation of the macro free radical take place, then the one of the H radical will be formed from one macro free radical, and this will generate one electron from here, one electron from here. This will form a carbon carbon double bond, whereas this H with one electron will get attached to this carbon. So we will get one saturated polystyrene and one unsaturated polystyrene will be formed from two macro free radicals. Then third type of termination step can be that the macro free radical formed in the propagation step, that can react with our free radical initiator. So either AIBN or organic peroxide. So This free radical will interact with free radical initiator. R will get attached to this position, and then R free radical will be formed, and this R free radical then can again be used for other initiation step in the molecule. So this is how polystyrene is synthesized by free radical polymerization. Then next type of polymerization under ionic polymerization is cationic polymerization. So cationic polymerization is that if the polymer is formed in the initiation from the initiation step where formation of a carbocation takes place. So if we add a positive charge instead of, so you have seen in the previous case we have added a free radical. So instead of free radical we will add a positive charge to the growing chain. So such type of polymer produced, they will be called as cationic polymers, and the process will be called as cationic polymerization. So here the electron donating substituents present on the monomer, they will enhance the rate of cationic polymerization, because electron donating substituents, they will polarize the double bond, and that polarization will make the electrophilic attack by a positive charge possible to the monomer unit. And we have to see that which solvent is to be used during this polymerization, because those solvents, they should be stable under acidic conditions. And in case of cationic polymerization, most commonly used solvents, they are dichloromethane, methyl chloride, carbon tetrachloride, nitromethane, or nitrobenzene, and dioxane. So all these solvents which are effective under acidic conditions, they can be used. And these are the list of polymers and their potential applications which has been done by the polymers which are formed by cationic polymerization. So polyisobutylenes, polybutenes, then butyl rubber, then isobutylene cyclopentadiene copolymer, polyterpene resins which are formed from natural products, that is terpenes, then coumarin indene resins which are formed from coal, they are also formed by cationic polymerization. Then polyvinyl ethers, they are also synthesized by cationic polymerization. And these are the applications of these types of polymers formed from cationic polymerization. So they can be used as adhesives, sealants, insulating oils, lubricating oils, moisture barriers, then engine mounts, gaskets, hoses. Then these copolymeric rubbers, they can be used for ozone resistant rubber. Then inks, varnishes, paints, adhesives, floor coatings, then tackifiers, adhesives. So all these type of applications are there for polymers formed by cationic polymerization. And then mechanism of cationic polymerization is that as I have told you, there are three steps: initiation, propagation, and termination. And in the initiation step we will use an initiator. An initiator mostly is an electrophilic agent such as protonic acid like HCl, H2SO4, HClO4, but we can use Lewis acids also, because they are electron acceptors by definition. So AlCl3, SnCl4, BF3, TiCl4, silver perchlorate, iodine, all these, they can be used as initiators. And whenever we use Lewis acid as initiator, then we have to use water or an organic halogen compound as initiator also, because this water or organic halogen compound, they will interact with the Lewis acid to produce an electrophilic moiety, which will add to the carbon-carbon double bond in the initiation step. So that means this electrophilic moiety, which is either a protonic acid or a Lewis acid in combination with water, or uh, an organic halogen compound and Lewis acid. Now when these are electron leasing groups, that means this proton will add to this carbon-carbon double bond because of the polar nature of this double bond, and we will get a monomer carbocation in the initiation step. And because these are electron leasing groups, so positive charge will be present on this carbon, because this will stabilize this carbocation. And in the propagation step, n number of monomer molecules, they will add to this carbocation, and we will get a macro carbocation formed in the propagation step. And then, as we have seen in free radical polymerization, same thing, termination will take place through macro carbocation formed in the propagation step. So termination can be, this is a positively charged ion, carbocation. So this can combine with an anion to give us a saturated polymer. So this can be cation anion coupling. Then there can be a chain transfer also, and chain transfer can take place either through anion. So this anion will abstract one proton from the carbon adjacent to which is having the positive charge, and this bond will be shifted to this place to form a carbon-carbon double bond, and we will get an unsaturated polymer by this process, but this will be a stable polymer. Then chain transfer can also take place through some monomer, because we have seen that monomer will add the cations or positively charged ion. So from this macro carbocation, one H positive can be transferred to the monomer, and we will get an unsaturated polymer, and a monomer carbocation is formed. And this monomer carbocation can then again undergo propagation step, and reaction will continue till the whole of the monomeric material is consumed during the polymerization. Then is anionic polymerization. So anionic polymerization takes place with monomers having electron withdrawing group. So this is just opposite to what we have seen in case of cationic polymerization. In cationic polymerization, we have seen that electron leasing groups, they enhance the polymerization, whereas in anionic polymerization, electron withdrawing groups, they will enhance the polymerization. And most commonly used electron withdrawing groups, they are cyano, carboxyl, phenyl, and vinyl. And these polymerizations, they are initiated in the initiation step by addition of a nucleophile. That is, a carbanion is added to the double bond of the monomer, and this nucleophile can be an ion, means carbanion, such as hydroxide, alkoxide, cyanide, or a carbanion. And these carbanions, they can also originate from organometallic compounds like alkyl lithiums or Grignard reagents. They can also be used for generation of these carbanions. So these are some of the commonly used anionic initiators. Uh, Amide ions, they are formed from sodamide. They are strong initiators, and these are used for anionic polymerization of styrene and isoprene. Then Medium initiators, they are used for polymerization of methyl methacrylate. That means formation of PMMA, polymethyl methacrylate, is formed from these types of initiators. Phenyl magnesium bromide, this will give us phenyl anion and magnesium bromide positive. So this will act as a carbanion which will be added in the initiation step. Then weak initiators are like sodium methoxide. So this will give us methoxide ions and sodium positive. This will add across the carbon-carbon double bond having electron withdrawing group. And most commonly this is used for cyanoacrylates. This weak initiator is even sufficient for addition to cyanoacrylates, because cyano group is a highly electron withdrawing group which will make the carbon-carbon bond very polar for addition of even of a weak initiator like methoxide ion. So this is the mechanism of anionic polymerization. You will find it similar to what you have seen in case of free radical or cationic polymerization. Only difference being here we will add a carbanion or anion on in the initiation step to the monomer unit, and here R is not electron leasing but electron withdrawing group. So this will add to this carbon to generate this carbanion. So monomer carbanion is formed in the initiation step, and like we have seen previously for other mechanisms, this monomeric carbanion formed will add to n number of monomer molecules to give us a macro carbanion, and then this macro carbanion will undergo termination step. And the most common termination step in case of anionic polymerization is that these anions, they will combine with cations to give us saturated polymers as the product. Then is coordination polymerization. So coordination polymerization has a different mechanism than all other types of polymerizations. Here a complex is formed between a transition metal and the p electrons of the monomer, that is pi electrons of the monomer. So here what will happen, that we will use a transition metal salt along with a transition metal salt like TiCl3 and some trialkyl aluminum salts. They will be used in combination with each other, and such type of coordination catalysts, they are called as Ziegler-Natta catalyst. And because of the development of these catalysts, the Ziegler and Natta, these were the two scientists who have discovered coordination polymerization. They were awarded Nobel Prize in 1963 for this discovery of coordination polymerization. So these catalysts, they can be used to polymerize a variety of olefins. For example, ethylene and propylene, they are very commonly used for polymerization through coordination polymerization. And styrene is also used, but many polar monomers, they cannot be polymerized by this way. Because the polar molecules either having electron leasing or electron withdrawing groups, they mostly inactivate these initiators, these coordination catalysts. They become inactivated, and this inactivation can either be through complexation or reaction with metal component. So that is why they are not effective for polar monomers, this coordination polymerization. And as I have told you that these Ziegler-Natta catalysts, they generally consist of a metal organic compound involving a metal from group 1 to 3 of the periodic table. So most commonly used is aluminum metal, and most commonly used compound is triethyl aluminum. And we can use any transition metal from group 4 to 8, and most commonly used transition metal is titanium, and most commonly used compound is TiCl4, titanium tetrachloride, and triethyl aluminum combination is the most commonly used combination for coordination polymerization. So this is the mechanism for coordination polymerization. The combination of these two catalysts, they are used. This R is say triethyl aluminum, and the rest of the catalyst is metallic part. They will add to this carbon-carbon double bond, uh, because the catalyst part will act as a positive part, this will act as a negative part, this will add to CH2, and this will add to this carbon, and we will get this type of intermediate in the initiation step. And then this intermediate will add n number of monomer molecules, and here same thing will happen. This part will act as a negative part, this part will act as a positive part, because this is a metallic part, this is a carbonyl part. So this is our negative part, this is our positive part. So positive part will add to this carbon, negative part will add to this carbon, and we will get a bigger intermediate of this type. Then termination can take place in these three different ways. That if this is reacted with hydrogen gas, then this catalyst part will get attached to H negative, and this will be removed, and H positive will add to this CH2, this will become CH3, and we will get saturated polymeric product. Then the propagation intermediate can react with HX, that is HCl or HBr. Then again H is positive part and this is negative part. This negative part will going to attach to the positive part. Positive part is the metallic part, that is catalyst. So X will get attached to catalyst and H will get attached to this negative part. We will get the saturated polymer as the product. Then termination can also take place by reaction with metal alkyl. So in metal alkyl, we know metal is positive part, R is negative part. So this negative part will get attached to catalyst, which is a positive part, and this positive part will get attached to this negative part. So we will get metallic polymers as the product. So this is how we can synthesize coordination polymers through coordination polymerization. And then other category of polymerization is condensation polymerization. So condensation polymerization is also known as step growth polymerization, and here the reaction takes place between simple polar groups containing monomers with the formation of polymer and elimination of small molecules like water, HCl, methyl alcohol, etc. So here the difference from addition polymerization is that in addition polymerization nothing is eliminated, whereas in condensation polymerization, when the two monomers they will react with each other, then small molecules like water, HCl and alcohols, they will be eliminated. And most common example of condensation polymerization is formation of polyamides, nylon 6,6, polyurethanes, polyesters, all our fibers from which our clothes are made, synthetic clothes, they are formed from polyesters, Dacron fiber, epoxides, silicones, phenol formaldehyde resins. They are also condensation polymers. Urea formaldehyde resins. They are also condensation polymerization. Melamine formaldehyde resins. They are also formed from condensation polymerization. So basically what happens here is that, say we are having this type of a polar group, an ester group, dimethyl terephthalate, and when this reacts with ethylene glycol, you can see that this can condense over the ester group like this with the elimination of methyl alcohol. Methyl alcohol, methoxy from here, H from alcohol, they will form a condensed product. So dimethyl terephthalate on reaction with ethylene glycol will give us this polyester with the elimination of methyl alcohol as the small molecule, and this polyester is known as Dacron. This is very important reaction in condensation polymerization. Now the difference between addition and condensation polymerization is that here only growth reaction adds repeating unit one at a time to the chain. Here there is no chain. The two separate molecules, they will react with each other. So any two molecular species present, they can react with each other. The number of units, they decrease steadily throughout the reaction. Whereas here, because they are to separate react, so that means the monomer, they will disappear early in the reaction. Then in this case the molecular weight of the polymer formed is high, whereas here the degree of polymerization is less as compared to the polymer formed by addition polymerization. And addition polymerization, this requires longer reaction times, but their yields, they are high. So here, if you are to prepare a polymer with similar molecular weight, then longer times they are needed. But if low molecular weight polymer is required, then we require even very less time. The reaction mixture contain only monomers and high polymers and about 10 to 8 part of growing chain, whereas here all types of molecular species are present during the whole time of the reaction. So these are the differences between addition and condensation polymerization. So this is the book which has been used for this lecture, Chemistry for Engineers by Harish Chopra and Anupama Parmar. Thank you very much.